Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be checking out Gekokujou by Vivid Bad Squad. Yay! Finally, it's been so long since I got to listen to Vivid Bad Squad, so I am excited to check this one out. And this one is with Dean this time. So, of course, as always, if you have a video that you'd like me to react to guaranteed, then be sure to go to my sponsor page, sponsor.app/shapers_Dina. Now let's get started. Ooh, starting off with Dean. Ooh, I don't know your names. Oh, that voice. It is smooth. Oh, I love her voice. Hey, now you can see everyone. Or not everyone. Look at those desks piled up. Ooh. Oh. Are we hearing some rap now? It was like a switch up just now. There we go, another switch. This must be like the slow part. Not liking something, huh? Something got erased. Gekokujou. Did it say Hikari ga matterunde? Oh, wait. Before we get to that, let me go back. I'm not done talking. That was like an abrupt end. I think there was like 4 shifts where it was this particular part in the beginning. And then it was, I think at this point, where it's slow. And then there's another switch. I think it was like, this is where it builds up. That's the chorus. And there's a switch, I think, right here with the rap. And then there's a different one right here. The slow part again. I guess it was 4. Yeah, I think it is 4. And then it's the chorus area where it's a lot faster. I got distracted. But I do like the choice in color here too. There was the whole idea of kirai or not liking or dislike, and then mostly just like denying something or just saying that they straight up don't like something. And it's interesting that there's the idea of piling up desks. You know, in some sense, I suppose, especially for those who are still in school, you know, it's one thing that you kind of want to do, like pile up your desks because you're tired of school and you don't like it. I don't think it's really about that, or maybe it is, but I do find it interesting that they have this in here. Not to mention the usage of red and red flowers. Usually red flowers can depict two ways. One is death and the other one is love, but I don't think it's love in this case. It probably has something to do with death. So it's either the death of themselves as a person, as a separate human being, or it's something else. Like I said, for these MVs, I don't pay attention to the lyrics as much. I just vibe to it and look at the visuals to see what message they're trying to bring into, just with, you know, looking at it straight up. And then the next one that we're going to look at is the lyric video, which is where I'll dig into the lyrics a bit more and extrapolate based on what I remember from the visuals here. But I do like the usage of the plain colors, the base colors for the most part. It's very plain. Like, what I mean by plain as in there's like no like other dominant colors in here or really strong secondary colors used. It's mostly one main color is used in most of these scenes. So blue, red, and even here, they stick to those main colors that they used previously and then utilize them to color the characters. You can almost imagine it as like paint, like when you're like painting on the wall. These are the kind of colors you might see. Blue, yellow, red. It's pretty much the primary colors, and then with some random mixtures of pink and blue. And this is the only time that you actually get to see characters have the colors that they actually do have, which is an interesting choice, especially since this is the only time we get to see them kind of far apart from the screen, while the rest is like super up close. Like this is very up close, taking up like half the screen. And there's a lot of symbolism with the X's, not only with the red, but the X to depict that they really don't like something, like it's not allowed, whatever it might be. Yeah, this is the only time we get to see them in their actual colors, which is an interesting choice. And you could definitely see the idea of the TV screen effect, or it's black and white. Or it's those main colors, blue, yellow, and red with some random pink. But for the most part, it seems to be mostly red and black that are dominant. But yeah, that's pretty much what I noticed visually here. So let's move to the lyrics to see what it could possibly be talking about. Okay, so now I get why they had the desk piled up in the image, at least with the music video, with the having misplaced my textbooks somewhere. When you say textbooks, obviously you think of school. So they're probably in school, which I think is the case, actually. I don't think there are any like adult characters, right? Like that are over 18 in, or maybe even beyond college in the game itself. They're probably all like high schoolers or something. Even if the VA might not particularly be high school student, but the characters themselves might be. This is a very interesting sentence. Humans made out to a narrow average maintain the status quo as a buffer. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so it seems like there's like a fear of change, but they want to change, and they hate the idea of it, and which is why they're crawling back up again and again, licking their wounds with a smile, because they believe that change is probably better than maintaining the status quo, being the average. What was it? Misplacing textbooks. You know, when you think of like average life, people tend to think like, oh, you grow up, go to school, graduate, get a job, and then maybe have a family, and that's the end of your life. So maybe that's kind of what they're making fun of, or at least like poking at the idea of, that basically not even trying to do anything different that you actually want to do, and instead you're just following that kind of path, is definitely a way of death in some cases. I mean, there are people out there who do like the normal life, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If they don't have like a strong desire for other things, then that's a good life for them. But for those that don't have that kind of, I guess, love for that kind of life, and they wanted to try something else, but then they force themselves to maintain the status quo, then it is in certain ways a type of death, which I believe is mentioned here. Yeah, life of convenience is equivalent to death. It might be easy, but it doesn't mean you're going to be happy, which is why you're like basically living like a robot, or just equivalent spiritual death in some ways. And so that's why they say there's no way around it, but then they conceded so many times to have this convenient life, and they would like to have certainty, but obviously you can't have certainty in life in most cases. And so it's better to just voice out what you want. And even if you break apart, they want to change. So they're probably saying they hate the status quo, which is why they're going to always fight and continue going down their path. I don't know, wait, just wanted to go through this particular part, but this also pushes forth that idea of even if you did concede a lot back then and follow that kind of path, it doesn't mean that you need to continue doing that, which is why they're continuing to do what they think is best for themselves to change. Now let's go over that particular part, because they did say it pretty quickly. And now let's, I think it was right here. So I'm not bowing my head, I'm not kneeling down, I'm not even dreaming of surrender. So no matter how much they fail, they're going to keep going, because for them, the status quo is not something that they want in their life. And so they continue to fight even if they're failing so hard. And which is why, you know, they make the reference of a dog crouching on all fours, not knowing when to give up, saying that they're stubborn. And the people that want them to maintain status quo are probably like pressuring them to come back to the status quo, which is why it's like, don't just laugh and settle for failure. But in reality, the people that are trying to go for their dreams aren't doing that just because they believe that they can still change, and they'll fight if they need to. Which is why I'm flipping the record over. My heart's burning up. I believe that is where we left off. Okay. This must be reflecting on the past. And that's pretty much the same message from before. That they hate maintaining status quo. Status quo for them means death. Maybe not actual death, but to them it's like spiritual death, where they're no longer themselves. Which is why they want honesty, but they can't have it because most people aren't going to be honest. Including themselves in the past. Because there's a certain fear of change and of the unknown. So it's difficult to fight to have the future you want. And that's the end. I think the last two lines is very interesting. It says, immersed in stunning rich colors until the moment life scatters away. I wonder if this particular part is when they're at the end of their life and they're looking back and they realize that they are in rich colors, or at least in the life that they wanted. And then, or at least at a point, maybe not the end of their life. And they still see that the light that they want is at the end of the tunnel, and they just need to keep going in order to reach it. That is what my assumption is about the song. Now, do let me know if I'm right or if I'm wrong, or if there's a different kind of meaning that you got from this song, and if you relate to this song. I think there are plenty of people who have tried to reach for their dreams, or some kind of circumstance happens and they can no longer go for it, so they give up. And I think this song in particular pushes forth the idea that no matter what happens, you shouldn't give up, because that status quo isn't what's making you happy. Or maybe it can, we never know, right? For some, that might be the case where you give up and you actually do lead a happy life after. Or for those who did give up but aren't happy, then maybe this song is the signal for you to keep going, to not give up. I feel like there are many ways to interpret the song and to gain some level of encouragement and understanding of your own self and your own life. And I think that's what makes Project SEKAI songs powerful. I mean, not only the songs that they, cover as a cover, but also the original songs, and the fact that characters in the game can relate to certain songs just shows how relatable the characters themselves can be, as the songs can be relatable to us as well, which makes it very powerful in that sense. In any case, if you enjoyed my reaction and analysis of this, then be sure to give it a like, comment below, subscribe, and share. And as always, if you like to have me react to a certain video guaranteed, then be sure to go to my sponsor page, sponsor.app/tables_Dina. But if not, then I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.